I've got a spread to help you make plans, to help you make decisions about how to move forward in personal life, in relationships, in your career, in all sorts of areas of life. I have personally used this for my businesses, my side hustles. I've used it for my career, my day job, and I've used it for self-growth. I've seen other readers use similar spreads. I call mine Bridging the Gap. This spread has 3 positions: where I am, where I'm going, and then how to get from here to here. This is bridging the gap. This position can have 1 card. It could have more than 1 card. So you can have a much longer story with more steps in it on that, bridge between the present and the future. I think this reading works best when you have sort of a general area of life where you're trying to make some changes or you've got some goals. I haven't really done it with super specific questions, but you could give it a try. So let me give you an example of how I do this. Let's do a career reading. So let's say, for example, I really like my career and I'm wanting to advance in my career. So card number 1, where I am. Card number 2, where I'm going. And then in the center, how to bridge the gap. Let's see what we've got. Where I am, where I'm going, oh dear, and how to bridge the gap. Okay, so if this were a career reading, I would say where I am right now is I am feeling introspective. I'm focused on myself. I'm doing a lot of solo work. I'm pretty independent. Where I'm going is big change. Either the company I'm working for is going to change or I'm going to bring that change. I'm going to be that bolt of lightning to make the change. Now, because I like to read for like self-empowerment, I would say that second version. Not that the company is going to fall apart. I don't read predictively. I would say I'm going to be that bolt of lightning. I'm going to make a big change, a big splash. And how do I get there? How do I go from this solo introspective workspace and attitude to such a transformative place at work? And the way I get there is by taking a pause, by seeing things in a new way, by looking for opportunities that I have not noticed before. And I would even say that if I am so introspective at work and I'm doing all this solo work, I've got to make a change. So I would start branching out. My plan now that I understand where I'm going, my plan needs to include doing things differently. I've got to step out of my comfort zone, which probably includes teaming up with other people, seeing what else is going on in the company, learning more, being more curious, seeing things in a new way. Let's do a sort of self-growth introspective one. We'll do one on living more authentically, discovering my authentic self. And I'll also do an example with more cards on the gap. So where I am, where I'm going, and we'll pull 3 cards. The bridge between where I am and where I'm going. So as far as introspection, here I am, living authentically. I am the Empress, and where I'm going to Page of Swords. Oh, how interesting, how fun. Okay, before I even pull these, turn these over, I want to get an idea of where I see things. Right now, I am in my creativity. I am feeling grounded. I'm feeling sure of myself. I'm feeling comfortable in myself, but I'm moving towards Page of Swords. I'm moving toward a place of discovery, a sense of beginning again, of learning. So to be more authentic, I'm going to have to go from this place of like full-on sovereignty to being a beginner again. And how do I get there? 9 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. Amazing. First thing I'm going to do is just look at suits and patterns. We've got pentacles, so being in the body, being in my real life, my material world, the things I can see and touch. And then we've got fire. And I read knights as fire, so this is like fire of fire. And then moving into swords. So we're moving through the material world, into my drive, into my passions, and then more into my intellectual sphere of life. So I would start thinking about the Empress, who I see as a very embodied person, very embodied energy, how can I take advantage of where I already am to move into this place of abundance and this place of possibility? That can come in many ways, and I think I would get more details. I'd spend more time like really digging into my own life. But at some point, I have to take some real chances and get out of this kind of grounded, finished state of mind, burn open some new ways of looking at things and new opportunities, burn through the things that are keeping me stuck or the things that make me feel so safe that I'm not willing to take any risks and change. And that will get me to my Page of Swords. That will get me to my beginner state. Let's do one more about relationships. Now, if this is a relationships reading, so it could be for friendships, family, romantic relationships, loved ones. It could be about getting out to start dating. Maybe you're ready to date again. You're ready to meet somebody new. So within that realm, let's pick one specifically. Let's do, you're in a committed relationship. You're very happy where you are, but you would like the relationship to move to the next level or be deeper. So you could say where I am in the relationship, or you could say where we are in the relationship. And then where we're going, and I'll just do one for this example. So let's read about myself. My general way of approaching tarot is to always just read about yourself and to focus on the things you have control over in your life. So in this committed relationship, where I am, where I'm going. Okay, let me pause. I just think this is really interesting. These were random. I was not even connecting with my deck, trying to, read any energies. But if I'm ready to move to the next level, and what I'm doing here right now is sort of self-protective, trying to win at all costs kind of behaviors in my relationship, and I'm trying to get to a place of more collaboration and trust and leaning on one another for each other's expertise, I can already tell you like how powerful this would be for me if I pulled this for real. And then how to get there is through joy and connection and love, and spending less time trying to win and more time trying to see the team of the two of us as winners to celebrate. So let down my ego, move into focusing on what we're doing well, how we can stay connected, spend more time in my heart and less time in my head. And then we will get to a place in our day-to-day life where we're relying on one another, we're trusting one another, and we're moving into a new phase. That is it. That is Bridging the Gap. Let me know if you've got any questions. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're interested in tarot content about how to read, how to practice, how to use tarot in your own life, and the occasional deck video. Thanks for stopping by.